Hello, my name is Amanda Sally and I'm the Head of Service for Work Solutions. This film is all about showing the benefits to both clients and employers of using work tasters in people's pathways to employment. It includes interviews with clients and employers showing their direct experience and positive outcomes of undertaking a work taster. By offering short-term work experience, people can gain confidence, recognise their skills and abilities, and it helps break down those misconceptions and stereotypes for people with disabilities. So if by the end of this film you would like to offer a work taster, we would love to hear from you.
Clients benefit from undertaking work tasters because it gives them the opportunity to try out different types of jobs in different working environments and to assess what their skills and what their abilities are. Employers benefit from work tasters, knowing that these individuals are committed, motivated and will enhance their workforce.
My name's Vicky, I'm the mother of James. James has a diagnosis of Asperger's, which is on the autistic spectrum. The isolation that James displayed was he would not leave the house unless absolutely necessary. He wouldn't even leave the house to go to the doctors, and for the family it meant that we could no longer go on holidays or outings or anything because we couldn't leave James on his own for longer than 24 hours. We knew James was capable of holding down a paid job, but to achieve that he had to go through an interview process, and we knew that James couldn't possibly pass an interview because of his lack of communication skills and his reluctance to leave the house.
I had an interview with Xenos. Well, my parents drove me there and then they asked me a few questions. Interview probably only lasted 10 minutes and then I left. I didn't know what to expect. Yeah, I was a bit worried, but I didn't really have anything to relate it to.
When James became involved in Work Solutions and was assigned Emma, Emma arranged for James to have a work taster with Euro Electronics, which is a company which develops 3D HD TVs.
Fixing splitters and building custom PCs for customers. When I did the work taster, it was a different routine at the beginning, but I got used to it after I settled with the people. Helps me with my confidence and just interacting with people. I got an insight to what would happen on a job and what my responsibilities would be.
Whilst James was doing the work taster, I noticed a huge increase in his confidence. He started to interact more with the family. He asked us about taking driving lessons. He did eventually pass his test. He was obviously over the moon about that, and again from that his confidence has grown even further. He started to go to the cinema, leaving the house in the evenings to go to cinema with a friend. And he even booked himself onto short holidays for 1 or 2 nights. The work taster was supposed to last for 2 months. He was given a part-time position. He now has a CV to be proud of. I'm sure he's very proud of himself.
After I left college, I didn't have enough reason to get up. I find it hard to get a job now. It's going to be quite hard.
First met Joseph in December 2009. He has a learning disability and autistic traits, and his social worker felt he needed assistance in finding paid employment. He obviously got in with the wrong crowd when he was a bit younger. Because of his vulnerability and everything, he got a criminal record. So that was another barrier to him finding paid employment, and this came across in interviews when he had to fill in these questions. He told me he wanted to do some supermarket retail work and was quite keen on doing work tasters for that. So I met with Simon Skeggs, the manager of Sainsbury's in Harpenden, who was able to offer a work taster. I then went to Joseph and told him what I was able to do and offer him a 3-day-a-week work taster, which ran over 3 weeks in various departments. Joseph was really excited and quite keen for something else to go on his CV, even if it didn't result in a paid post. It was something to put on his CV to fill a gap and get a bit of experience, because retail was what he wanted.
When I did the work taster, I thought it would be a good experience for me and it'd be good to put on my CV. Yeah, when I was there, I really felt like a part of the team. I gained confidence in the work taster.
Got to the 3rd week, I went in for some feedback with Joseph and the manager, and he was in a position to offer him paid hours, which was 20 hours a week. Which meant Joseph came off a job seekers allowance and was able to claim working tax credit. So he did that, he started, and he's been there 2 years now and he's doing really well.
I did well at the work taster and got offered a job. My life has been much better. I've got more money. I've got a new place now. I've got a reason to get up in the morning now.
I always just want to get back to work. I want to feel that feeling where I'm going to work and I'm earning my money and I'm sort of affording my lifestyle from doing a job, really. Before I did get ill, I used to be a plumber. Basically, I had a brain abscess. I then got a blood clot in my brain. The pair have led me to losing all the vision in one eye and half the vision in another eye. And also left me with a lot of memory loss when I first came out of hospital.
We were quite worried about what sort of work he'd get back into, because it became, obvious quite quickly that really his work as a plumber wouldn't be able to really continue. We were very unsure what he would be able to do, and work was very important for him. He ran his own business. It felt that really we weren't alone in trying to find work for him, that there was people who could help.
I had tried applying for a couple of jobs before I got involved with Adele.
Most of the time I'd have to be looking for work for Pat. That was quite a lot of pressure. We'd sort of hit a bit of a brick wall in looking for work. And so when the opportunity of a work taster came up, we both really wanted to jump at it. So yeah, really keen and very excited about it. When I was first put forward for a work taster, I was really excited. It was nothing I'd ever considered that I'd be doing. Like it's a teaching job. It was actually a training centre, and I was there to teach plumbing there as well. We were kind of concerned about how he'd get on, and he was a little bit nervous. But when he did it, so the first day he came back and said how well he'd got on, how much he'd enjoyed it. I just saw a real boost in his sort of self-esteem. When I got there and was actually doing the work, really enjoyed it. I seemed to get a lot of good feedback as well. The other thing from the work taster was that really I noticed how much more independence it gave Pat. So something I did gain from the work taster was a knowledge that I could turn my hand to other bits and pieces. There's a whole multitude of things out there that I'm sure I could go and do and be very happy at doing as well. The work taster was definitely worth doing. As I said, it was a really positive experience for him. If someone else came up to me who was looking for work and mentioned that they'd been offered a work taster, I'd recommend them to certainly to go for it.
My name is Stephanie Stevens, and I live here with my husband Michael and our son Harry. Harry has communication problems, and so he would isolate himself, going up to his room and just staying up there, looking out to the window and sort of really being a recluse, really. His general health was quite poor at one time. He suffered with a mental sort of illness. He had a bit of a breakdown through sort of finding out about his Asperger's, because he was diagnosed very late in life. So it was very difficult. With Harry finding a job, I felt that to start with, in early days, it probably would be very difficult, but I found that with these work tasters that Harry's been going on, he's having support there. He has a personal advisor, a lady named Samantha, and she was there to help him.
I managed to get him a 3-week work taster. Harry was absolutely brilliant. At the end of every work taster we do a feedback sheet, so I get feedback from the employer on how they've perceived that work taster. The feedback I got was absolutely fantastic. They felt that Harry had grown so much as a person in that role. And the manager actually said to me at the end, he said, you know, this has been a privilege for me. And I said, oh, why do you say that? And he said, well, when you first came in, he said, I was a bit nervous because I don't know anybody with disabilities. He said, but actually, having worked with Harry, he said, I feel as a manager I've grown so much more than any training course could have taught me. I've developed, and so has my team, through having that experience of learning how to manage people individually rather than just see everybody as one. That some people have better skills in other areas, but that isn't necessarily a negative. It's about putting the right people in the right role at the right time.
He's sort of passed his driving test, first time. He's become more independent. He actually takes the train now by himself and has the confidence to go down there without any support. When Harry started these work tasters, he had lacked confidence, but once he started and was able to build up, he had more confidence in himself, he became less frustrated, he had a lot more self-esteem, he had a purpose in life, and just generally his well-being has improved dramatically.
We offer support to the employer throughout the whole process, ensuring that there is a point of contact for the employer to ring if they do have any concerns whilst the work taster is going ahead.
My name is Keith Fox. I work for a company called Simmons UK Limited. The candidate that was offered to us was somebody that hadn't worked before. We were asked, would he be able to carry out a work taster at the site. We hadn't had any experience of working with vulnerable adults before. Any concerns that we had were alleviated by the meeting that we'd had with Hertfordshire County Council prior to commencing the work taster. The work taster themselves lasted between 3 and 10 weeks. The candidate that we were first presented with came to us for 8 weeks, and that was a perfect time because we were able to assess him, encourage him, and by the end of the 8 weeks, he was his confidence and performance was a lot better than they were in the first couple of weeks. The way that we prepared for the work tasters was we held a briefing with all of our workforce to inform them as to what we were going to do, who was going to be on site, why they were going to be on site, and exactly what we was expecting from them. During the work taster itself, the candidate became a lot more confident. He was able to talk with our customers, he was able to talk with our staff, and he built up a working relationship with those. When you see that happening as time goes by, it's actually something to behold. Somebody who comes to site, first off, quite nervous, quite introvert, they've never worked before, and suddenly they come out of themselves, walk more upright and with confidence, just a lot better person in themselves because they're able to come to work and enjoy the work that they're carrying out. Working with people with learning difficulties or disabled people is not something that you should be frightened of. For us, it is a big advantage. These people have got a lot to offer, and that's probably the biggest thing that we've learned. We are looking to host further work tasters in the future. Not only are we looking at carrying it out with Hertfordshire County Council, and not only are we looking to do this kind of work again, but we're looking to do it nationally now.
My name's Heather Granger and I'm the Assistant Manager at Tring Day Service, and that's a small day service for older people. We discussed having a young person to come to us for a work taster in our staff team meeting. It was an opportunity for the team to raise any concerns they might have, so they were quite welcoming of the thought. We were keen to sort of start our candidate off with sort of light duties to start with. Then after a little while, I think she just kind of relaxed into the post, where she was very quiet, shy, nervous, all of those things to begin with. You could see that her confidence was growing. When our candidate came to us for her work taster, which was the 4 weeks, we didn't have a vacancy at all, and we didn't see that there needed to be the carrot and stick of a job offer after a work taster. It was literally just to give the opportunity of doing some unpaid work to see if it was what they would like to do in the future. Fortunately for our candidate, a vacancy did come up, and she had a successful interview and has been working on a part-time basis with us since February this year now.
I would say to anybody that's thinking of offering a work taster to go for it. It really is a rewarding process.
It's really an open door that, you know, he could go through and do something that he wouldn't have had an opportunity to do.
They are excellent in building up your confidence, your self-esteem.
James now has a future. He didn't envisage a future for himself before, and to be honest, neither did we.
I think you'd almost be foolish not to accept a work taster. I think it's a very good way of getting back into work and a very good way of seeing if you like that particular job that you've been offered.